Welcome to Edit 3318 Technology Integration, SAMR and TPACK. In the top right hand corner, you'll see the shortened URL. Go ahead and take a moment and grab that URL if you need to. Stop the video so that you can get connected with this presentation so that you'll have all the links that we're going to go through. All right, let's get started. So let's start first in our module in Blackboard. So I'm going to go there. And at the top of the module, you'll see that it is SAMR and TPACK. And you're actually going to go through a comparison of TPACK and SAMR. So first is TPACK. You'll go through and you'll look at the different information pieces, similarities and differences versus TPACK versus SAMR, and there's a great little video there for you to watch on TPACK. And then you'll look at SAMR. SAMR explained, SAMR examples, and then a nice little video here about SAMR and kind of explains it out. Okay, back in our presentation for a minute. You'll also see here another little video that's about 2 minutes long that kind of gives you a classroom example of the SAMR model, so if you'll watch that. Then here is a chart, one of the examples that we've used with the SAMR model, and it goes through and it talks to you about what SAMR is. So SAMR uses the letters to represent the words substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. So on the S and the A, those are using technology to enhance the learning, and the M and the R, or modification and redefinition, use the technology to transform the learning. So in the S for substitution, the technology acts as a direct tool substitute. It involves doing the same thing as you would do without the technology, but without the modification of the task. So an example of that might be if you were using a chalkboard or a whiteboard before technology, and maybe you're writing on a smart board. That would be a substitution of a direct tool. For augmentation, you have that the technology acts as a direct tool substitute with functional improvement. So this would be, it's still a direct tool substitute, but you have taken it up a notch. The task may not be changed, but perhaps the features or use of the technology are incorporated. So an example in this one would be to use an extension or something to highlight within a Google Doc, or you're using Google Research or Google Explore to get some information. So you have functionally improved the task. And then we move on to modification and redefinition. So modification, in that you're redesigning the task. Okay, the outcome is enhanced, the product has changed, and you're giving a different kind of an assignment to the students. So this time they're collaborating with peers. They might you might differentiate assignments. You might use Google Classroom to share. Students might collaborate in a Google Slides, but they're not necessarily in the same room. Redefinition, again, remember we're looking at transformation, that bottom piece down there. This is redesigning the task that was previously inconceivable without the technology. So students are creating multimedia, they're doing Google Drawing and embedding those, they're in a Google site, to share out, so this is shared out, with outside the classroom in some different ways. So that would be redefinition. So let's take a look at what this would look like as far as your assignment. So in your assignment, you're going to choose a content area, one expectation from your TEACs. You can complete one plan that includes 4 different activities. Now you're welcome to use the same content area TEAC all the way through, or you can use a different one. It is up to you. I would definitely, you need to make sure it's on the same, strand, or if you have a couple that go together and maybe this one takes it a little further to allow your task, to kind of move up the SAMR model, then absolutely that is permissible. You're going to use this technology integration plan to describe each activity. The plan will go through the stages of the SAMR model. So you will fill in this template. So let's take a look at what that template looks like. Here's the template. And you have, notice here's the place for the definition. You've got your curriculum TEACs, your technology application TEACs, and then here are your steps that you'll go through for each of your activities. Okay, so that is your plan. In each of the 4 activities, you will include the curriculum and TA text, the number, letter, and description. You will have the name of the activity, something that kind of tells you what this is. Like this one says Chatterpix Kids Pond. That tells me they're going to use the Chatterpix app. It is a science activity, and they're going to talk about ponds. Describe how the students will share the product. That needs to be included. Also, the step-by-step instructions of completing each of the activities. So you'll complete each section through every step of the SAMR model. A different activity is to be used at each of the SAMR level to illustrate the transformation in learning as they move through SAMR. So the next page shows you some examples. This one right here goes through, and it is a 4th grade ELAR, and you'll notice here are their definition, and they're working in groups here. They're going to take the information they've gathered and answer questions on a Google Doc. Okay, so this one would be substitution. And then here's an example of augmentation. They've taken their notes, they're transferring them to an interactive webbing tool, so they have augmented that activity and they've taken it up a notch. For modification, they are using an animated storyboard, summarizing characters using Screencastify. Students will collaborate and create their animated story, and then they're sharing this in Google Drive. For redefinition, students will create that animated storyboard, and they are making a live action and adding sound and narration. Again, this will be shared with the teacher in Google Drive, but in this one they are collaborating on this story. So you can see that this activity walks you to modification and then down to redefinition. This one they are creating a newsletter and using a SAMR, so definitely it's published out, and so this is their digital journal. So this activity walks you through quite a few different areas. So that is just one of those that is listed on here, the slide here with your examples. Please explore other examples. There's a secondary math and biology, but you can use those to get some ideas. Again, here is your template that you'll use. Don't forget to check out the rubric. The rubric of course, at the top has your basic pieces that you'll need to include, and then you have a section for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. So be sure you take each one of those and include all of the specifics that you need to have. Use this as a checklist so that you can kind of check it off as you complete each piece. So that's pretty much it for the technology integration assignment. Thanks for taking a look. Be sure if you have any questions at all, email your instructor, and don't forget to use the resources that are in the module. Have a good night.